Assalamu alaikum. My name is Wakas, and today we are going to discuss another type of essay, which is whether the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. So this is very important type of essay because this type of question can normally come. This type of essay can normally comes in your exam, and whenever students are facing this type of question, they're doing a lot of mistakes. So today I will help them to answer this question perfectly in exams. Okay, so before I start, I will like to say, or I would like, or I can, or I'm going to request to all those viewers who didn't subscribe yet and who are just watching my video, please subscribe my channel. Please support me as I'm supporting you also, and please don't forget to press the bell icon button so that you can always get notified whenever I upload new videos regarding IELTS general training or IELTS academic. Okay, so I will start now. You should spend about 40 minutes on these tasks. This is an advisory statement from an examiner. Suppose if you start part 2 before part 1, then in that case you shouldn't spend more than 40 minutes, because if you do, you won't have enough time to complete your part 1. So you won't be able to get band 7 in writing. Write about the following topic. This is a requirement from an examiner, and because of that you should only write about the topic given in the box. Give reason for your answer, which means you need to provide explanations for your answer, and include any relevant example from your own knowledge or experience. These are also examiner's requirement, and we need to fulfill these requirements. Write at least 250 words. We also need to write 250 words. If we write 249 words, then the examiner will deduct one band straight, because we're not fulfilling their requirement. As per certified IELTS trainer, they will deduct one band. So our question is, many museums charge for admission while others are free. This is a statement. Do you think the advantages of charging people for admission to museums outweigh the disadvantages? So, well, there are two types of advantages and disadvantages question. So I can explain you in a very simple way. Say for example, if someone is asking from you, what are the advantages and disadvantages of having a laptop? So it's quite simple, right? We need to give the one major advantage of having a laptop and one major drawback. Simple. But if someone asks from you whether having a laptop have more advantages than disadvantages, so in this way the guy or an examiner is asking for your opinion whether there are more advantages of having a laptop than disadvantages. So in that case what we will do, we will give our opinion, and then we will provide one major advantage and one major drawback. We will give our opinion in introduction and in our conclusion. And in our first body paragraph we will discuss the first major advantage, and in our second body paragraph we will discuss the major disadvantage. If we are favoring, if we think that there are more advantages, right, then in our first body paragraph we will discuss about the major disadvantage, and then we will discuss the major advantage in our second body paragraph. Or say for example, if we're saying there are more disadvantages than advantages, then in our first body paragraph we will discuss about, sorry, if we say that there are more disadvantages, yeah, I was right. So in our first body paragraph we will discuss about the major advantage, and in our second body paragraph we will discuss about the major disadvantage. Quite simple. As I will read, I will also guide you. Some museums have an entrance fee while some do not charge anything. Entrance fee means admission, while others for others I wrote some charge. So only one synonym I use, and I paraphrase my sentence. I paraphrase the first sentence of my introduction. This is a requirement because in this way you can demonstrate to an examiner that you have proficient standard of English or higher. So in my first sentence I just did the paraphrasing. Instead of many I wrote some. For admission I wrote entrance fee. Okay. Now I will give my opinion. Sorry, I think I didn't read the question. Many museums charge for admission while others are free. Do you think the advantages of charging people for admission to museums outweigh the disadvantages? If you see, they are asking for opinion. Okay, now I will give my opinion. In my opinion, the drawbacks of charging an admission fee are overshadowed by its benefits, as the income could be plugged back into operations and development of museums. So I'm saying, in short, I'm saying that there are more advantages. Overshadowed means outweighed. Sorry. This is a synonym of outweigh. Benefits. This is a synonym of advantages. Sorry. So if we see, this is my introduction, and as per certified IELTS trainers 9 out of 9. Why? Because in my first sentence of introduction I paraphrase this statement, and my second sentence I gave my opinion which examiner asked from me. So in my first body paragraph I will discuss the major disadvantage, and in my second body paragraph I will discuss the major advantage. So why we are giving only one disadvantage and advantage? Because the examiner asked, because the examiner said, do you think the advantages of charging people for admission to museums outweigh the disadvantages? This is plural, so we should write more than one advantage and disadvantage, but we are going to write only one. Because if we write more than one advantage, then we have to explain each and every advantage in detail and support with an example. We don't have that much time in our exam. We just have 40 minutes. This is a trick which an examiner is playing with us. A certified IELTS trainer is playing with us with these tricks. So we will just give one major advantage and one major disadvantage, and we will explain it and support with an example. But the word we will use, that will be the major disadvantage or the main advantage. In this way we are acknowledging that there are more than one advantage and disadvantage, but the major one is this. So in this way we are also fulfilling the examiner's requirement. The major drawback of an entrance fee is that it might decrease the number of visitors. So now I'm going to give reasons for my answer to fulfill the examiner's requirement, which is give reasons for your answer. This one. Museums house exhibitions, artifacts of historical and educational value. If the chief aim of a museum is to introduce these values to people, and then there should be no entrance fee. Now I will support my explanation with an example to fulfill the examiner's requirement. For instance, the New York Times reported that folk museums in Hong Kong do not charge their visitors a single dollar to visit these museums, as the visitors can learn a lot from historic relics and folk museums. Now I will give another example in order to increase my word count and also to increase the quality of my body paragraph. But first I like to read my example again. For instance, the New York Times reported that folk museums in Hong Kong do not charge their visitors a single dollar to visit these museums, as the visitors can learn a lot from historic relics and folk customs. This is further illustrated by the fact The nearly 90% British students achieve high scores in science subjects because they have free access to science museums all around the United Kingdom, as well as weekly science exhibitions featured by these museums. So my first body paragraph, if I want to grade my first body paragraph, or if I'm presenting this body paragraph in front of a certified IELTS trainer, then he will give me 9 out of 9. Why? Because I fulfill all the requirements. I gave reason for my answer. First I gave my answer, then I gave reason for my answer, this one, and I also gave relevant example. You can see here I gave 2 examples in order to increase the quality of my essay, body paragraph. Now we're going to discuss the major advantage. Granted, an admission fee would have negative effect on the number of visitors, but this provides a stable source of income which is favorable to museums in terms of operations. I gave my answer. Now I will give reasons for my answer, or I will explain this in more detail. Museums feature educational exhibitions at times, and this would have not been possible if a sum of money wasn't expended on hiring professionals and buying equipment. Now I will support my explanation with an example. For example, a recent study conducted by the University of London showed that Singapore Space Museum has monthly exhibits on different issues, and professional docents are employed to take visitors as a guided tour around the museum. This would have not been achievable if the museum didn't charge the visitors. I will read this example again. Now I'm going to give an example to support my explanation. And it's also a requirement from an examiner. For example, a recent study conducted by the University of London showed that Singapore Space Museum has monthly exhibits on different issues, and professional docents are employed to take visitors on a guided tour around the museum. This would have not been achievable if the museum didn't charge their visitors. So this is 9 out of 9. My second body paragraph is 9 out of 9. This is the grade which a certified IELTS trainer can give, because after giving answer, I gave reasons for my answer, and I also provided relevant example to support my explanation. Sorry. Now I'm going to write the last paragraph of my essay, which is conclusion. In conclusion, the disadvantages of museum admission fees are elapsed, means overshadowed or outweighed by the benefits of steady income which can be used to operate museums easily. Therefore, having weighed up the pros and cons, I am convinced a museum should charge an entrance fee for the sake of operation and development. So what I did, I just paraphrased my introduction. The disadvantages of museum fees are elapsed by the benefits of steady income which can be used to operate museums easily. In my opinion, the drawbacks of charging an admission fee are overshadowed by its benefits, as this income could be plugged back into operations and development of museums. Sorry. After paraphrasing my introduction, I wrote one additional sentence. Whenever advantages outweigh disadvantages type of question is coming, you can write this sentence in order to increase the quality of your conclusion. Although my conclusion is already finished, but by writing this additional sentence, I can increase the quality of my conclusion. Therefore, having weighed up the pros and cons, I am convinced that museums should charge an entrance fee for the sake of operation development. So I gave my opinion. So you need to learn this phrase. Therefore, having weighed up the pros and cons, I am convinced that. You need to learn this line. Okay. Hopefully today's lecture was useful. If I see how many words I wrote why it's not coming, sorry. I wrote 325 words in 30 minutes. So I was able to do it by a lot of practice. After practicing essay by essay, I was able to reduce my timing and start to write quality essays which enabled me to score 7 and above band in writing. So what I can do it, I just zoom out so you can write it down. You just need to pause the video. I will just stop the screen for few seconds. You can pause and you can write down the essay. Okay, now this one. So hopefully my today's video was very beneficial for you in order to answer the advantages outweigh the disadvantages type of essay. So I'm again requesting to all those people who are watching my video, please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon button so that you can get notified whenever I'm uploading any video regarding IELTS general training which can help you or support you to migrate to Canada as soon as possible. Hopefully today's video was useful for you. If you need any clarity, please just write or give your comments. I will try to address each and every issue as much as possible. Hopefully for 2 days it's more than enough. So just take care, inshallah. Soon I will appear with new video with different type of essay.